Hello, everybody. I hope that you are having a wonderful day. That's the wrong button. A wonderful day. There we go. What's shaking? How's it going? I've been messing around with our overlay a little bit, changing things up because there's something wrong with my brain and I can never, ever leave things the same. But we're just here to talk about video games. Yeah, that's a new backdrop. I don't know if I'm going to stick with it or not. I just thought it was kind of cool. So I put it up there. And then, you know, this screen really isn't going to change all that much. Brandon Leal, what microphone do I have? I have a Heil PR40, but if you want to know more, type !gear. And it's going to take you to a page that has all of the gear that I use to make this show. Hey, Corey, how's it going? Changing things is how you break things. Random noob, it's like you understand me. I'm always breaking stuff. Although I will say that, like, it's unlikely that I'll break anything because I made a copy of, or I made a brand new set of scenes in order to do this. But now I've got, you know, this scene is a little bit better, I think. And then this will be the scene. This is still a work in progress. This is a scene with me and Lloyd, although Lloyd's not here right now, so it's blank. And then this is when I show you guys stuff with me and Lloyd, and this is when I show you guys stuff when it's just me. It's a little more the same across the board, if that makes sense. So here, this is for you, Brandon. It should pop up here in a second. The bot's a little slow, I'm not gonna lie. Deep Patel. Hold on a sec. I gotta fix, or not fix something, but just adjust something so I can see my levels a little bit better. All right. Let's see. Which games you're thinking for, Bill? Which games you want to play but is not on the list yet? Oh, I mean, I don't know. You mean that are not on Stadia? There's so many games out there that are not on Stadia or have not been announced for Stadia. So I don't know. It's kind of hard for me to pick one. How about you guys? What are some games that are not on Stadia that you really want to come to Stadia? I know one game that will never come to Stadia, and that's Crucible. That looks pretty cool. I watched a video of it earlier today. Kevin says, I was just watching the Crata live stream. I know Lloyd is very interested. He was in the live stream chat as well. Are you interested in Crata? I'm interested in it. I won't create anything. It's just not my jam. Like Mario Maker, I don't make any levels. I just play levels. I am definitely interested in it. I know I would love to interview the devs of that game. Corey says Overcooked, Final Fantasy VII Remake. Alucard, I think you're going to be not disappointed. I think Final Fantasy VII Remake will come to Stadia at some point, and I think Minecraft will as well. MLB The Show, I don't see that happening anytime soon. GTA 6, I think probably. GTA 5, I don't know, maybe not. The Sims, that's very likely because EA. Brett wants Diablo 4. Diablo 4, oh my god, that game looks so awesome. I can't wait. I can't wait to play that game. Yes, I would love Elder Scrolls Online to come now. I emailed them. I haven't heard back yet. Dragon Ball FighterZ? Isn't Dragon Ball FighterZ already on Stadia? I thought it was. Maybe I'm just mixing things up. Stadia games. Where's the list? Here we go. Oh, that's not... Well, hold on a sec. Oh, all right. Let's see. So we'll go to the store. And we're looking for... What the heck was that? Oh, yeah, Dragon Ball. There was a Dragon Ball game, right? Stadia Pro on sale. All games. Here we go. All right. Darksiders, Destiny, Doom. Dragon Ball. Oh, Dragon Ball Xenoverse 2, not Dragon Ball FighterZ Z. All right. Well, that's where my mistake was, not knowing the difference between those. Now, let's increase that to 500. Let's check that fade real quick. That's better. Bernard Baker, I would like more fighting games to get me back into the genre. Dragon Ball Fighters. Now, let me ask you a question. Is it Fighters Z or is it Dragon Ball Fighters? All right. Guilty Gear Strive. I'm not a fighting game guy. That being said, if I were to say, hey, you know what, I'm in charge, I get to pick some fighting games to come to the platform, I would say Street Fighter. Like, we currently don't have Street Fighter. I know that Capcom is working with Stadia on this, so I assume that at some point we'll get Street Fighter. Adam Addis says, hey everyone, any idea when iOS support will come? Sorry, off topic. Well, Adam, here's the thing. There is no topic right now. Like, the topic is whatever you guys feel like talking about. So, when is iOS coming? We don't know. Hopefully sooner rather than later, in my opinion. Let's see. Hey, Bill, I would love to hear your thoughts on the impatience of the community. PS4, Xbox have been out for 7 years, Stadia for 6 months. Do people need to tone it down with the where my games? I mean, I have a lot of patience. I really do. I think that comes from being a Nintendo fan for years. I have a lot of patience when it comes to, games coming to the platform, especially because I'm excited for Stadia for the future. Right now, it's pretty damn great, but I'm far more excited for what's going to happen in the future. And I think that a lot of people, they want to play Stadia. They want to get excited about it, but they just can't because they've already played a lot of the games that are on the platform. Is that a criticism? Of course. Is it a valid criticism? Of course it is. But what you have to remember is that if you go back to when the original Xbox came out, it didn't have all that many games. If you go back to when, like, that's the last time that we really had a brand new console from somebody who had never been in the business before, was the Xbox, the original Xbox with the Duke controller, the giant original Xbox, and it didn't have a very good launch lineup, and the games were very slow to come out. But then next generation, it got better. In fact, the Xbox 360 destroyed the generation after that. So I think it's perfectly reasonable for people to say, well, Stadia is not for me because they don't have any games that I want to play. But at the same time, pretty soon, we're going to start seeing that rollout of more and more games. Look at the Nintendo Switch. It launched with, I don't know, like 10 games. And of those 10 games, there were like 3 good ones, which is not great. That's a bad launch. But it launched with Zelda, so it sold a bunch. And because it sold a bunch, devs brought their games to it. Now, the thing about Google Stadia is it doesn't have to sell a bunch. It doesn't have to sell at all, because everybody already has, well, okay, if you're not out, when I say everybody, I don't mean the whole world. I mean the people who live in the countries where it works. But, you know, everybody already has Stadia. It's just your browser. And if your browser is the store, developers would be foolish not to bring their games to a store, which is just a browser. That's a ridiculous thing to not do. So I fully anticipate that we're going to have tons and tons of games on Stadia, but porting games takes time. And if you want the games now, then you're going to get crappy games. You're going to get bad games. The games get ported too quickly, and it's going to be a real it'll be a real show if you get my drift. Hopefully that worked. Yeah, it did. Okay. I was just making sure I hit the button at the right time. It'll be bad. And so, yes, I do think people should be more patient, but it's also a valid criticism. And I don't think people should be shouted down for valid criticisms. C's, you don't have to tell me the Nintendo Switch has games. Oops, I didn't mean to hide that. Shoot. Sorry, I didn't mean to hide that. So C's 0106 says the Nintendo Switch has games, and it does, but it launched with almost nothing. And yes, one of those 10 games was the best ever made. That's right, Lloyd. Lloyd, why are you have the surprised face? Did I swear? I bleeped it out. That's one of the fun things of having a Go XLR. I bleeped. Did I not bleep it? I think I bleeped it. The original PlayStation launched with 10 in North America. Potty mouth. Did I bleep it though? I think I did. Avery says, I think it's a matter of pipeline. Devs know how long it takes to make PlayStation games, Xbox games, PC games. They don't necessarily have that timing down yet for Stadia. Yeah, and that's also a valid point. Devs are, struggling to make the transition to Vulkan. Now, the advantage of going with Vulkan over DirectX is that Vulkan will allow you to more easily port your games to Android, to iOS, to Linux, to PlayStation, to Xbox. When you're using DirectX for Windows games, that it kind of puts you in a box. Vulkan is a more open source graphics API, and so therefore, even though it's new, it's going to take some time for people to get that right. But once they get good at making Vulkan games, the development process will speed up. I know that Google was criticized a lot for using Vulkan because not a lot of devs use it very much. But everybody's focused on the now, and they're not thinking about the future. N64 launched with 2 games and that was fine. Yeah, it all depends on which games. It was bleeped. All right, thank you, Andrew Wilson. Oh man, there's almost 100 people here already. You guys are fantastic. Thank you for coming and hanging out with me. If you could click that like button, it would really help out. Super Nintendo says it launched with almost nothing, but one thing Nintendo Switch had was a new first-party game each month after launch from March to December. And you are not wrong about that. And that is something that there's a couple different ways you can look at it. You can look at it like, all right, Google, don't launch Stadia yet. Hold off for 2 years until you've got a bunch of first-party games ready, and then launch Stadia. But at that point, a lot of people might be entrenched with whatever it is that with xCloud or with Project Tempo from Amazon. And so I think that Google decided to roll the dice, launch now with only third-party games, knowing that Jade Raymond and her teams have a lot of heavy lifting to do to make some first-party games for later. That being said, the main selling point of exclusives on a system is the fact that those exclusives sell the system. And between November and I guess March is when it came, maybe April, from launch until when Stadia actually finally came out and they did the whole 2-month free thing. You could make an argument that that an exclusive would have pushed out a lot more founders packs. You could have made that argument, and I would not disagree with you. I've never said that exclusives wouldn't help. I only say that they're not necessary. And the reason that I say they're not necessary for Google Stadia to survive is because you can look at a game and say, oh, all right, well, here's this game, and I don't have an Xbox or a PlayStation. We'll say Red Dead Redemption 2. All right, I don't have an Xbox. I don't have a PlayStation. My computer's not really good enough to play that game, but it kind of looks good. And, you know, Jack Black keeps making weird YouTube videos about it where he dresses up like a cowboy and does stuff with his kids. You know, I think I want to try that game. So I can buy an Xbox and spend a couple $100 plus however much it costs to buy that game. Or I could do the same with a PlayStation, or I could spend a whole bunch of money to upgrade my computer so that my computer is good enough to play Red Dead Redemption 2. Or I could just buy it from Stadia and not have to spend anything past the price of the game itself in order to play it. And then on top of that, that's a pretty compelling argument. But on top of that, if you want to play Red Dead Redemption 2 online, then on PlayStation, you have to have PSN or whatever they call it. I forget. Because I just subscribe to it and I don't worry about it. On Xbox, you have to have Xbox Gold. On Stadia, you don't have to. You don't have to be a subscriber to Pro in order to play that game online. Now, to be fair, the population of people who are playing Red Dead Redemption 2 on Stadia is pretty small. You know, it's already a small population of people who have Stadia. And then it's a smaller population of people who have Red Dead Redemption 2, a primarily single-player game. And then of that smaller subset of people, there's an even smaller group of people who are playing that game online. So, yeah, it is difficult to find an online match. But, like, that's one more selling point, is that you don't have to pay extra to play online. So, you know, I look at the idea that Stadia doesn't have those exclusives. They don't have those first-party games. Would that help? 100%, without a doubt, yes, it would help. But is it necessary for Stadia to succeed? No, I don't think so. And is it going to happen eventually? Absolutely. People just need to be patient. We're in on the forefront. They are building the train while it's going down the tracks. And I'm happy to be along for the ride. Hopefully that makes sense to you guys. Xbox Game Studios owns 15 studios. SIE owns 14 studios. Well, yeah, but you got to remember, how many studios did Xbox own 2 years ago? They went on a buying spree last year. Or maybe it was last year and the year before. We'll go 3 years ago. How many studios did Microsoft own? It was not nearly that many. They went on a buying spree after they lost this gen. All right? The PlayStation 4 ran away with it because Xbox came out and they said, you got to have a Kinect and you got to do all this other stuff because we want the Xbox One to be the one box under your TV. And a lot of people said, screw you, I just want to play games, get out of my way. And Sony came in and said, you know all that stuff that Microsoft is saying? Don't worry about it on ours. You want to borrow a game from a friend? Go ahead and share your game. And Microsoft realized their mistake and they backpedaled. But they realized, hey, we're losing this generation. All right? We're not doing so hot. What can we do to make sure that we do better next time? Here's what we do. We take the buckets of cash that we have in our storage and we throw it at developers to get them to make games exclusively for our platform. Now, those games aren't going to happen right away, but it's going to happen eventually. And so that's what they ended up doing. And that's why Microsoft now has 15 studios. Google just started and they already have 4. And I guarantee that Google is going to use the cash that they have to buy more studios as time goes on, meaning that we're going to have more games that are first-party games on Google Stadia. Hopefully that made sense. Joel Thompson just sent in a super chat. Thank you very much for that, Joel Thompson. He says, are you surprised assistant functionality isn't available 6 months after launch? What do you think the next feature added will be? All right, so that's a very good question. Thank you very much for the support, Joel. I appreciate it. 6 months after launch. Well, I don't think that launch was 6 months ago. I know that Stadia says that this launch was 6 months ago. I don't think it was. I think launch was, what was it, a month and a half ago or something? However long ago it was when they said Stadia is now out. That was launch. We were in an early access beta phase, and Stadia could have saved themselves so much headache by just saying, this is early access. Our founders are getting early access, and it doesn't actually launch until later. I think that was a mistake on Google's part, like big time. But hey, you know what? Live and learn. Would that have really changed anything? No, but it would have changed all of the flurry of stories that was around Stadia. That would have changed if they had said, hey, this is all early access. So am I surprised that the assistant functionality is not available 6 months after launch? Well, like I said, it's not 6 months, but I get what you're saying. I'm not going to be pedantic. I will say this. It's something I believe that we'll get once games that are made after Stadia, like down the road, I think that we'll have that assistant functionality. And here's why. I believe, and I could be wrong because I don't have any inside information here. I believe that there's probably hooks in the game that will work with that kind of thing. So when you hold down the assistant button and you say, keyword, how do I get past this level, right? It hears that word, this level. It looks into the game and it says, oh, they're on this thing. Let's pull that information out, do a search, find the thing, and bring it back in. And my guess is ports aren't going to have that functionality baked in. That's something that they would have to do extra stuff to do, and I just don't see that happening. I think that's probably not going to happen for a long time. And is that too bad? It is too bad. But I'm going to be real excited when it comes. And then the next part of your question, what do I think the next feature added will be? I'll tell you what I want it to be. And I don't know if it will be, but I really, really hope it is. And it's this. Where is it? Right here. Oh, you can't see it. Let me focus this. Right there. Parties coming soon to the app. That needs to happen sooner rather than later. Hold on, I gotta fix my camera. There we go. Parties coming to app soon. It's said that for a long time now. I think it's about time. Stadia Arcadia says, I hear stream beats. You do. You do. And Alucard saying it doesn't make sense for people to complain about early access service. Well, I think if you're unhappy... Uh-oh. Am I disconnected? Oh, the music's still playing. Oh, YouTube is not receiving enough video information to maintain smooth streaming. I think we're back. Short interruption? Okay. Yeah, I don't know what... my internet just shut off earlier today. All right. Good to be back, everybody. I don't remember what I was talking about. Oh, somebody, I saw my name earlier. Bill, do you not think developers would have been hesitant to develop if they said they were going into early access? I don't think so. Being hesitant to go into early access, you got to remember, everybody thinks about the now and they don't think about the future. Google, developers, they're thinking about the future. After you shared that Stream Beats playlist last week, I've been listening to it constantly. Good. Oh my God, I know, it's great. Do you think when ESO launches, they'll make a big pro deal for free pro game of the month of playtime or something like that? You know, it wouldn't be a bad idea. It would actually be a pretty good idea for them to say, hey, guess what? Here's Elder Scrolls Online for this month. If you buy it, the pro deal this month, or one of the pro deals this month, is that in addition to the other stuff, you also get a month of ESO's super status or whatever. I can't remember what it's called. Comes with the crafting bag and the extra crowns and stuff like that. Because here's why you want to do that. Because that gets people hooked, right? People start playing the game and they've got this huge crafting bag, which keeps their inventory nice and neat. They've got all these extra crowns to buy stuff with. They're gonna be playing that game like crazy. And then, you know, well, actually, you know what? When you buy ESO, you get a free month anyway. So I guess maybe a better question is, do they give away ESO for free? I don't know. I don't know that that's going to happen. Give out the base game, sell the expansion. Yeah, that would make a lot of sense. That's what you got to do. And the great thing about ESO's base game, you can play that for years. You can play that and play nothing else and still have your time occupied for at least a year. Like that would be a really good move on their part. Yeah, because most of the time when you buy a game like that, you get a free month anyway. They might do a pub style or a PUBG style giveaway. That's possible. Yeah, the base game has a ridiculous amount of content. There is so much content in Elder Scrolls Online. You could just play forever. Stupid Wabbit. Whoa, just getting here. Wasn't expecting this stream. Neither was I. I was sitting here and I was working on overlays because I was changing up our overlay a little bit. And I was like, well, what the hell am I doing? Let me just hit go live and hang out with people. Sean Grace, does it feel anything like Skyrim? The online ones are different, right? Well, there's only one online one, and it's Elder Scrolls Online. It feels kind of like Skyrim, but it also feels different at the same time. It's a great game. Avery Krause, if Elder Scrolls Online survives and has a good player base, other folks, Final Fantasy XIV might accelerate their timeline. Well, here's the thing about Elder Scrolls Online. They have said, and I've never actually seen the source, but I've had people tell me that they've said this. But the people at Elder Scrolls Online, ZeniMax, have said that if you have that the Stadia player base will be playing on the same servers with the PC players, which is huge news, right? So that means that they're going to have a much better experience than the people who are on PS4 or Xbox. Why? Because those, like, I played on PS4, it's harder to get a group. I haven't played on Xbox. I assume it's harder to get a group. On PC, it's much easier to get a group to do stuff. And I think that's probably just because that's where it launched first, and that's where most of the player base is. If Stadia is on the same servers with them, then that means that it's going to be very, very easy to get a group. And if it's easy to get a group and you don't have to patch, you don't have to download anything, I bet you that there's going to be a lot of players who have older PCs that can't quite hack it, because ESO is a pretty intensive game. It's not very well optimized. They may end up rebuying the game on Stadia just so that they can, not have to run it locally. That's a possibility. I think that there will be some people who will do that, especially because ESO is huge. It takes up a ton of space on your game, or on your. It's got a big storage footprint. Now, I think that, you said if ESO survives, ESO is doing just fine. They had a terrible launch, and ZeniMax turned it around, fixed their game, and turned it into a really, really good game. So it's not if they survive. They're going to survive just fine. They're not going to have any trouble surviving. I think it's going to do very well on Stadia, especially if it's on the same servers with the PC people. Now, Final Fantasy XIV, the reason that that's not on other platforms is because Sony kept getting in the way. Yoshi P, who's the guy in charge of Final Fantasy XIV, he has said many times, the only way we will port our game is if all of the other stakeholders allow us to do cross-play. Like right now, it's PlayStation and PC. Those are the only two that can communicate. Sony, and yes, they took the handcuffs off in the past, but ports take time. All right, but Sony was very hesitant to allow any games on their platform to do crossplay with other consoles. They allowed it with PC, but not with other consoles. And the reasoning was nonsense, that they were trying to protect their players from the horrors of Xbox and Nintendo. I don't know what their logic was, just plain dumb. It was bad logic. So now that Sony has realized that they can't do that, thank you, Epic Games and Fortnite, for pushing Sony off of that ledge, because we really needed them to get off that ledge. But now that they've hopped off that ledge, and they're like, go ahead and do your cross server stuff, that means that now the handcuffs are off for Yoshi P, and he can start trying to develop that game for other platforms like Xbox, maybe Nintendo Switch, but I'm thinking probably not, and possibly Google Stadia. I don't know what engine they use, but I'm going to guess that whatever engine they use is probably not like one of the other engines where they're just, oh, well, we can just, recompile, click a couple of buttons, fix some bugs, and ship it. They probably have to do a lot of work to convert their game or port their game to Stadia. Maybe Vulkan is the culprit here. It's like, maybe it's not written with Vulkan in mind. We don't know. But I think it would be awesome if Final Fantasy XIV came to Google Stadia. That's another huge install that you would no longer have to have on a console and PC. And I got to tell you, if you have ever installed Final Fantasy XIV, then you understand what a ridiculously bad experience that is. Installing that is horrible. It's so very bad. It took days. I have really good internet. Well, I have pretty good internet. And it took days to download that to my PlayStation. It took days to download that to my PC. And not only that, but when I downloaded it to the PC, it just kept freezing. And I ended up having to do some weird thing where I went to a different server, downloaded it from not Square Enix just to get it on my system so that it could patch. It was a ridiculous experience, and I hope nobody ever has to deal with it again. And if it comes to Google Stadia, then nobody will. Fighting games like Mortal Kombat 11 really need crossplay. You can't find a match at the moment, which is so bad. I hear a lot of people complaining about Doom not being able to find a match, and I complained about it too. I guess that's a problem on all platforms. That being said, I don't know about Mortal Kombat. I haven't played that. I haven't played a Mortal Kombat since Mortal Kombat 3. Oh, I would love to see Overwatch and Rocket League. Dead by Daylight I don't really care about, but, kudos to you if you want it. But yeah, Overwatch and Rocket League would be fantastic. I love Overwatch. I got Overwatch free when I bought my Steam controller. This thing is awesome. There's my Steam controller. It's got a little sticker on it to make it cool, Aperture Science. When I got this, it came with every Valve game ever made and all future Valve games. So I actually have Half-Life Alyx, even though I don't have a VR system to play on. And it came with Rocket League. And I said to myself, Self, you don't like racing games, and you don't like sports games. You're definitely not going to like Rocket League. And I installed it anyway just to try it out, and it was fantastic. So thank you, Steam controller, for getting me addicted to Rocket League back in the day. Eima, how is the Ember early access going? I don't know what you're talking about. Avery Krause, I'd like to see big indies collection come out. Dead Cells, Hollow Knight, Celeste, Stardew Valley. I don't see why those would be a collection. I think those should be sold individually. I found not having to download games and updates with Stadia has been way more value to me than I initially thought it would be. I love it. You know what, Andrew? You're not wrong. I stopped playing Apex Legends because there was a patch and I just can't be bothered to boot up my PlayStation in order to do it. Grant Fuller, can you stream Steam games or do you need a decent PC? You need a decent PC to stream PC games, or you need 2 PCs to stream PC games. I've got a pretty decent computer and I can probably stream some Steam games, but not all of them. I am looking forward to playing Crucible tomorrow. That game looks really, really good. You know what? Rez did a better job than I did. It is going to be in the first look in the morning. So let me find a link to that right now, because I was trying to be funny and I didn't think about it. So here we go. Yeah, this is going to come out tomorrow. Get shareable link. Actually, I'll just view on YouTube real quick. View on YouTube. So if you guys look at this right here, you can see Ember Stadia first look. What's that? That's right. You know what, Lloyd? We should have had on here Ember early access or something. But look right here. You see this? Here, let me give you that link. Live streaming. So if you click on that link, and then right here you hit this set reminder button, that will give you an alert in 17 hours when you can watch the Ember first look from us, from Stadia Cast. I wonder how much longer till you get support, they said, about streaming directly to YouTube Gaming. Well, YouTube Gaming is just YouTube now, unfortunately. It's got a bad interface. Especially, it's okay at 1080p. You go up to a 4K screen, it just doesn't look as good anymore. I think that... God, I really, really wish that was out now. Because that would mean everybody could be a streamer. And that's really like the dream, right? Everybody, my son wants to be a streamer. He doesn't have the hardware for his PC to do that. But for him to be able to be a 4K streamer on YouTube, that's huge. And that would help YouTube as well. But they need to fix their UI. Is there couch co-op on Ember? I can't say anything about Ember. So you're just going to have to wait until the first look tomorrow. And Andrew says, also, if you follow on Twitter, you would have seen it this morning. That's true, Andrew. I'm sure you totally can't tell us if you've got any other games in the not released category, can you? Wink, wink, wink. I suppose it would depend on the game. Corey, Bill, what publishers would you pay monthly subscription for their entire library Netflix style? Blizzard. Yep. Blizzard. I don't think there's anybody else. Blizzard. Do you think that Stadia 2.0 is going to be revealed at the same time as next gen, or do you think that Stadia hasn't shown its true potential yet? I think that Stadia has not shown its true potential yet because all the games that we have are ports. And I don't think that we'll ever see Stadia 2.0 unveiled. I think that would be a mistake. There's no reason for them to do that. Here's what they do. They just show a game that's running on the new hardware and they say, look how pretty this game is. Don't talk about the resolution. Don't talk about the frame rate. Just show us what the game looks like with gameplay and let that speak for itself. That's much better than having a conference where somebody stands up there and talks about how powerful it is. Look at the PlayStation 5 announcement that they did with that Dana Carvey looking dude. I can't remember his name, but he looked like Dana Carvey, or he looked like Garth from Wayne's World, right? And he's up there and he's talking about, and everybody, how powerful the PS5 is, and everybody was like, snore fest. And now, to be fair, he was doing a GDC talk, and GDC was canceled, so we were all like, all of the gamers were watching a GDC talk, which is going to be boring to most of us anyway. But I just don't think that talking about the numbers helps anybody in any way. All right, look at Microsoft, Xbox One. They said over and over and over, this is the most powerful console you can get right now. They said it over and over. Did it help them this generation? I don't think so. PS4 ran away with it. Mark Cerny, that's right. Mark Cerny, thank you. Yes. Especially when the tech specs don't really tell you anything. Ooh, this one has 1.21 gigawatts. Yahoo. Okay, that would be pretty cool if it could travel in time. Refresh the picture. Hold on, Lloyd. I got a view on YouTube. Yes, that looks much better, dude. What is it? There we go. Ember early access. Oh, you updated the picture too. I like that. Did you guys go there and click on the set reminder? You should. And then while you're there, you can click on the I like this button. Ooh, I'm just full of ideas, aren't I? When this baby hits 88. No, I can't do a Christopher Lloyd impression. McLaren Maniac, new sales coming. I don't know. The PS4 did have really good exclusives. Spider-Man and God of War. Was God of War an exclusive? But Spider-Man, God of War, and Horizon Zero Dawn, those were some amazing games. Do we know how much Ember is for the UK release? I don't know. I don't have access to the UK store. I find it amazing how many people genuinely don't want to even try Stadia. I have a lot of friends who complain about downloads, but they still say Stadia is of no value. Then don't try and convince them otherwise. You're just wasting your breath. Here's the thing. There is enough out there for everybody to have fun with the stuff that they want and to not worry what anybody else thinks. I could not care less if you like Stadia. I like it, so I play it, and I talk about it. The sooner you get to that, and it takes a while, you got to be an old man or old woman usually before you get there. But when you get to that point in life and you realize, I don't care what anybody else thinks, your life is just so much better. God of War wasn't exclusive? Okay. You all could make Monopoly into open mic for both of you. Lloyd cares if you like stuff. He's younger than I am, though. He's not a crusty old guy like me. Eric, Stadia needs a way to try Stadia without entering a credit card. Kids are going to need to see it in action before they start asking for new consoles for Christmas. YouTube ads where you don't have to sign up before trying a demo is critical. Eric, that is a really good point. It's kind of really bad that you have to enter a credit card just to try it. But is that true? Do you have to? Well, no. Yeah, you do, because you got to buy something. Yeah, you know what? I think the credit card might be a necessity, because otherwise You can't prove that you are of age to make a purchase, right? It's not like you can go to a store and buy a Stadia game. So, you know, the kid saves up. That is a problem. I mean, not a problem, but that is something that Google needs a solution for, is being able to walk into a store and buy a Stadia game. I think that's something that needs to be addressed. Your birthday's on Monday, dude? Happy birthday.
Happy birthday, Lloyd.
Derek, I finally took the plunge and went YouTube Premium, so no ads and creators get paid. Derek, that's awesome. With YouTube Premium, you also are able to become a member to one YouTube channel. And it would be awesome if it were this one. All right, we just got a super chat, so let's switch over to the super chat screen while we watch Sonic run across the bottom. And Shrui, hopefully I didn't say that wrong. Shrui says, with a super chat, indie titles that you want on Stadia. Example, Cloudpunk. Cloudpunk? I don't know what Cloudpunk is. I got to see what the heck Cloudpunk is. Let me look this up. I want to see. What is Cloudpunk? All right, Cloudpunk. We'll look at a video. Let's mute it. I don't want to. What kind of game is it? Like some kind of adventure game? It looks pretty cool. I love the art style of this. It's very Blade Runner-y going on there. Seems like they're spending a lot of time driving around. Is it a driving game? I love the setting. I love the art style. I'm very interested to see what that game is like. But you asked what indie games I wanted on Google Stadia. I'm gonna go for games that I have already played because those are the ones that I really like. I would love to see Shovel Knight. Shovel Knight is one of the best, absolute best side-scrolling platformers of all time. Shovel Knight is amazing. It is amazing. If you don't have it already and you have access to a system that you can buy it on, go buy it right now. It's so fun. And it has one of the best soundtracks in chiptune history. It's a phenomenal game. I would love to see Shovel Knight come to Google Stadia because then more people would be able to play it. Live Network, thank you very much for becoming a supporter. I appreciate it. You are awesome. Thank you for the support. We are working on emotes for you guys. All right, it's gonna take us some time. Right now, we have some emotes. Like there's the goldfish emote for when I can't remember, and then there's the Bill emote, which is me. We're working on more emotes for our members. Shovel Knight is really awesome. Stressed me out though, pretty challenging. My son and I played through it 2-player, and we had so much fun. Live Network. That's weird. I see that you sent in a super chat, but it didn't. Let me reload. Oh, I did the wrong button here. I'm sorry. Anyway, Live Network says, I want Planet Coaster. Oh, there it comes. I want Planet Coaster to come to Stadia. I don't know what the heck Planet Coaster is. Now I need to look that one up too. Planet Coaster. Planet Coaster. Oh, the roller coaster thing. It's kind of like Roller Coaster Tycoon, right? Yeah, that doesn't interest me, but I want it to come to Stadia so that you can play it. Like, I'm not very interested in those kind of games, but that doesn't mean that those kind of games shouldn't end up on Google Stadia, you know? But thank you very much for the question, or not really question, but more of a statement, Live Network. I appreciate it. Owen says, Way Forward Games. Yeah, okay. I've never really gotten into the Shantae games, but I know people love the Shantae games, so I can understand that. John Montgomery says, does anybody know if Mafia is still coming, yes or no? I believe it's coming, but not until August? Dwayne Anderson, let me ask you a question, Dwayne Anderson. Do people often say to you, Mr. Anderson, you know, like Agent Smith in The Matrix? Brian Farreld says, that reminds me of Roller Coaster Tycoon. I think that's kind of the point. What do you mean, where is Stadia Cat? It's right there. You put it in there. Oh, you mean where is my cat? He's somewhere. Is he in here? He's not in here. I don't know where he is. We'll see if he comes. I just called him. He's a cat, though, so he may just ignore me. Gustav Anderson. Oh, another Anderson. Says, Binding of Isaac Afterbirth would be amazing on Stadia. I never got into the Binding of Isaac games. I just felt that they were too dark for me. Reza says, Stadia games and GameStop will be on gift cards like Steam, Blizzard, etc. And I think that would be awesome. What I would really like to see are those physical collector's editions that have like all of the statues and the stuff. And it also includes the card for your Stadia game. That would be really great. Like, look behind me. I got a bunch of collectible stuff. The fans demand meow. I yelled for him. He's probably sleeping someplace. Because he's a cat. That's what cats do all day. It's funny, my wife has her sewing room. Used to be where I would stream, was in her sewing room a long time ago. In fact, some of my oldest clips on Twitch are of me streaming from her sewing room. And my wife is down in her sewing room. Actually, she's probably out in the garage working on a project. She likes to redo furniture. But she was in her sewing room yesterday, and our other cat, DC, sat next to her all day long. And every time she got up and went, and this cat does it all the time. Anytime she got up and went someplace else, he would get up and just follow her to that room and then sit down and watch her. And then when she went back into the office, the sewing room, she would sit down and the cat would climb up on the little spot that she has sitting next to her, and he would go to sleep next to her. That cat loves her more than anything. Consigno says, we need our Stadia hoodies. Can't just be on PUBG. There are Stadia hoodies out there. Other content creators got them, but Lloyd and I did not get them. And we are a little jealous. Arc Zero, that's a cool name, says, 1 year from now, where do you see Stadia as a platform against Sony and PS5 or Xbox? What do you reckon they should do to still remain competitive? Here's you've got a false equivalence here. Stadia is free. The others you have to pay for. So you can have Stadia and you can have Xbox. You can have Stadia, and you can have a PS5. You can have a PS5, an Xbox, a Nintendo Switch, a PC, and having Stadia doesn't cost you any extra money. So, therefore, it's not really a competition because it's not an either-or thing. It's not a Pepsi versus Coke. I said this a million times, I know, but it's not a Pepsi versus Coke. Res TV is crying. Why are you crying, buddy? Oh, because of the hoodies? What's the most expensive collector's edition people have bought? I don't have an answer for you, but I'm going to guess. I don't have a real answer for you, but I'm going to make a guess. That would be Shenmue 3. The people who got, like, the leather jacket. Cohen, the guy y'all from Stadia Cast was really upset about the Mafia Trilogy announcement today and Stadia being totally absent. What about you, Bill? I am the guy from Stadia Cast. I wasn't upset about it. What are you talking about? Anyway, I'm not upset about it. Things get delayed, especially with all of the, all of the insanity that is happening right now with COVID-19. So I understand. Things get delayed. J Van says this will be the worst holiday season since 2008. I think this is going to be the worst holiday season since the Depression, not since 2008. 2008 was a blip. Stadia talk. Chase was livid. I mean, it's not worth getting upset about. Thanks for the sub, Demetric. That's a cool name. No need to be sorry, Cohen. Look, I don't get upset about stuff like that. It's not worth getting upset. Like, if you allow things like that to make you upset, then you are just handing over all of your control of yourself to somebody else. Maybe, I might be disappointed if something gets delayed, but look, these people want money, right? The people who are making this particular game, they want money, right? So don't you think that if they thought it was in the best interest of the game to ship the game now, that they would? Probably. So if that's the case, and the company wants money, and if it was in the best interest of the game to ship it now, and they haven't shipped it now, then there must be a pretty damn good reason for it. Well, I'm not going to talk about other content creators here, Matt Smith. Matt Smith? The doctor? If somebody wants to be upset, then let them be upset. It doesn't affect me. What do you think a Stadia exclusive would be like? I don't know, Dwayne Anderson. What I hope is that a Stadia exclusive game is not an exclusive game because Google gave a pile of money to somebody and said, okay, now make the game not on other platforms. What I hope is the reason that a Stadia exclusive game is exclusive is because it can't be done on other platforms, because it needs things that Stadia does that others can't do. That being said, a lot of people are forgetting that we already have Stadia exclusive games. Guilt is a fantastic Stadia exclusive, although I get the feeling that that's a bag of money kind of exclusive and not an exclusive because of features, because I played through the whole game and it's awesome. Make sure you check out my review of it. but I've lost my train of thought. But anyway, it's a really good game. Will I be streaming Elder Scrolls Online Greymoor even though it's not on Stadia yet? I mean, I would love to stream a lot of games, but they're not on Stadia, so I figured if I stream those games here, people would get mad at me. Sam, when you eliminate the impossible, whatever remains, however improbable, must be the truth. Bill from StadiaCast. That sounds like something I would say. Res TV says, it's still just a video game, my dudes. It'll hit Stadia, or it won't. The Earth will continue to orbit the sun. The sun will change. We'll be stuck inside. We're on the outside of the Earth, Lloyd. Jem, I just saw this podcast now. Not a podcast, but thank you. Andre Sosa says, Stadia exclusives should be games that showcase the possibilities, or at least the first-party exclusives. And I agree. Live Network, can't wait for the Ember stream. Just so that you are aware, that Ember stream is not a stream, it's a premiere, which means it is pre-recorded, but people can watch it together like it's a stream, but it will be happening when Lloyd and I are working. Does that make sense? I would bet you wouldn't. Wait, J-Van. Oh, wait. He's talking to somebody named Ray. Okay, I can't follow the conversation. I wish there were threaded conversations in chat, but it obviously wouldn't work. Just because stuff goes by fast enough that I can't see it all. All right, Jem says, Bill, got a YouTube question for you. When you premiere, does the premiere label go away after some time? Yes, after the initial video is done, like once that initial viewing is done, it just becomes a regular video, and it will say on the bottom, premiered at whatever time. Random Noob says, we all saw Lloyd was online playing it. Can you prove that? Is there proof that that was Lloyd? I don't think there's proof. Live Network, Bill, can't you remind me of the music player that you use? I'm using YouTube Music. This is just YouTube Music. I used to use Pretzel Player, but once I found Stream Beats, I switched. Rest TV says there was a glitch in the simulation, like when that cat walks by you twice. Yeah, but the premiere at time date, does the label over go away after a few days or weeks? Yeah, it does. It just becomes a regular video. Like, let's say it's an 8-minute video, right? So the premiere happens, and for 8 minutes, everybody who's watching it is watching it together like it's a stream. And then immediately after that 8 minutes is done, it just becomes a regular video. Consigno, if you're a friend of Lloyd, will it show the game he's playing on the friends list, right? You can change that. So here, I can show you. I can show you how that works. Maybe. I gotta open up Stadia again. And then I gotta switch accounts. Switch account. And then Stadia settings. I gotta make sure. Let me just make sure there's nothing private on my screen. All right, I think we're good. So if you go to your avatar up here, you click on that, and you go down to Stadia settings. You're going to see friends and privacy. And then right on here, so who can send you a friend request? I marked it as private because I got too many requests. I just couldn't keep up with them. I will open it up again at some point. But it was just insanity trying to, like, I was trying to use my phone, and if you get a friend request while you've got the Stadia app open, it does it puts a thing on the bottom, like a little thing pops up, a little toaster pops up on the bottom saying so and so sent you a friend request. And I was trying to go to the store to buy something, and the store button is on the bottom, and it kept getting covered up by these friend requests over and over and over again. So finally I just said, screw it, I'm done. No more friend requests for now. So that's why that's set to private. And then down here, your friends list. So my friends and their friends can see my friends list. I don't know why anybody would care about that. See your games and achievements. That's set to private. So nobody, not even my friends, can see what games and achievements that I have. See your online status. My friends can see when I'm online. See what game you're playing or in your online status is set to private, so people can't see that. And then it says invite you to voice chat or party. Friends can, and invite you to play a game. Friends can. So hopefully that answers your question. Gustav Anderson, Diablo 4 must come to Stadia. I would cry otherwise. I just hope that Diablo 4 launches with controller support. Even if it's a PC game, I hope it has controller support, because I loved Diablo 3, but when they launched Diablo 3 on console with controller support, I thought there's no way that they can get that game to play as good as it does with mouse and keyboard, and they actually got it to play better than it does with mouse and keyboard. Stadia needs an extra privacy option, auto accept friend requests. No, that would be bad. I mean, sure, if it's an option, I guess, but if I have auto accept friend requests on, then immediately people can start sending me all kinds of nonsense. Eric says there's no reason it shouldn't have controller support. But Diablo 3 on PC still doesn't have controller support. So even though they've got the UI worked out, even though they've got the button layouts worked out, they've decided not to give it controller support on PC. It's just a shame. By the way, everybody, you guys are all awesome for being here. If we could get a like spike, that would be rad. If in like 5 seconds, 4, 3, 2, 1, click the like button. It would really help us out. Mike Lee, Stadia's UI and settings need options for followers and friends similar to console. Also text chat. Well, we've seen 9 to 5 Google show that text chat is coming. It hasn't been confirmed by Google, but 9 to 5 Google has shown that in the APK. So I think that's definitely a possibility. I would love to see followers versus friends, or like best friends, or your favorites or whatever, so that like when Lloyd and I play together a lot, and if I want to play with Lloyd, I got to navigate through hundreds of people down to Lloyd's name to find him. And it's a huge pain. And it's even worse for him because my name is Run Jump Stomp on Stadia, so he has to go all the way down to the R's. I only have to go to the D's. Thanks, Ray. I appreciate it. Do I think they'll change the UI? They'll definitely change the UI at some point. Yeah, trying to get him and me to connect for Monopoly was a pain. That definitely needs to be fixed, without a doubt. I don't think that, okay, I wouldn't say the UI sucks. I would say it's less than optimal. There's improvements that need to be made, but I do like how clean it is. I also will say this, the UI for Stadia is very low frame rate. Like when I bring it up, it's jarring how low frame rate it is. I don't understand why. It definitely needs improvement. Look at that, Eric Dvorsky. Thank you so much for the support, Eric. He says, with a $10 super chat, thank you for the support at that level. He says, thanks for hanging out. I love this channel, and this is my favorite type of content. This is my favorite type of content, too. I like playing games a lot, but I like just having conversation with you guys so much more, because this is why I podcast, is so I can talk about stuff that I'm excited about, and you guys allow me to do that. So thank you very much, Eric, for the support, man. I appreciate it. They need to find a way to get game invite links for the Chromecast. Maybe something that shows up in the Stadia app. Well, like that's what I say. So not just game invites, but I already showed it, but parties coming soon to apps. So if I could just click on that and start a party, get a link, and then send a link to a friend, everything would be over. Like it would just be, okay, that's done. That's easy. Lloyd and Bill, how do you guys know each other? Did you meet through gaming? Lloyd hosts a podcast called Nintendo Pulse, and I host a podcast called Nintendo Switchcraft. You can find those shows wherever you listen to podcasts, right? And Lloyd and I don't know how we actually like found each other, but we were talking one day, and like I'd been on his show a couple times and he'd been on my show, and then one day, it was the day that Google made the Stadia announcement, and I was telling my Twitch chat, I was like, hey everybody, I'm gonna make a Stadia podcast, and Lloyd was like, you beat me to it, Bill, because I was saying, because he was gonna make a show called Stadia Cast, and I had already done it, and so I said, well, Lloyd, just join me on the show. I don't know how long we've been friends. Oh, it's through Captain Logan. Okay. Yeah, Captain Logan's a friend of ours. He does a Sea of Thieves podcast. I forget the name of it. Keelhauled. Yeah, Keelhauled. If you love Nintendo games, it's because you have great taste in games. Well, I mean, I don't know. Not everything that Nintendo does knocks it out of the park, but more often than not, they make phenomenal games. Lloyd, what do you think of the super minimal UI, by the way? I didn't clear this with Lloyd. I was just messing around and decided to go live. But why would John Justice, a.k.a. Res TV, host a Nintendo podcast? Oh, man. You like it? Okay. I would love the upcoming Skull and Bones game on Stadia. Isn't that a, the Skull and Bones game, that's another pirate game, right? Cohen says yes. I assume he's talking about that game. Stupid Wabbit. Hey, Bill, I just finished work, so I created a running Google Dino for you in a GIF. That sounds cool. You can email it to me. That sounds neat. That being said, I'll look at it, but I don't know that I'm going to replace Sonic. I really like the Sonic one, and it's the dinosaur is cool. I don't know that I want to change. But I'll look at it. Gustav Anderson, do you guys plan to interview John again? We would love to. I was working on scheduling with the person who I work with to schedule John's stuff, and like we were working on scheduling a new interview, and then COVID-19 happened, and they said, well, I don't know that we can do this right now. And I said, of course, that makes perfect sense. So maybe once, if stuff ever gets back to normal, maybe that'll happen. Jem says, any plans for Monopoly stream number 2? I don't know, man. We had a lot of fun. In spite of the fact that I was playing Monopoly, I still had fun. Because you guys made it fun. So probably. But, Lloyd and I want to do other streams as well. No, I understand the branding concept, Sarah. I just don't know that I want to go all in on that. Sonic is general enough that it kind of it's not only about Stadia, because we talk about other things here too. Grant Fuller, how about a grid 40-player online session? Hard to get a game. I don't really like that game. I don't want to play games that I don't like. And it's not that Grid is a bad game, because it is objectively a good game. But for me, it's not anything I'm interested in. Like, I played a little bit of it, but it did not grab my attention. But that's not a big surprise, because that's not my kind of game. I don't like simulation racers. I like arcadey racers. I like Mario Kart. Sam says, I'm liking the idea of a Monopoly tournament. Gustav, we're going to do crowd play. You can be sure that we will do crowd play once it's a feature. Because Lloyd and I have been streaming for a long time, and we've done those things on Twitch using like third-party stuff, and it's always kind of janky and kind of a pain. But for it to just be built into the YouTube UI, that's going to be fantastic. And by the way, I don't know if you guys know or not, but as a streamer, I'm always willing to answer questions about video games stream, or just like streaming in general, that kind of stuff. So you can ask those kind of questions too. Do I think Cyberpunk will meet people's expectations? The hype is crazy at the moment. It's going to be tough. I mean, they set themselves up for failure, really, because Cyberpunk is so wildly... The Witcher 3 is so wildly popular, and they announced Cyberpunk so far in advance, you know, I think it's really hard because it just keeps getting more and more and more hyped. I mean, it's going to be hard for them to do anything other than disappoint, which is too bad. That being said, I don't get super hyped. I mean, I get excited for stuff, but I'm not like one of those people that's like, oh my God, this game is going to be the greatest thing since sliced bread. I just play a game and then I make my decision then. Grant Fuller's looking forward to Watch Dogs Legion. You know, I wasn't looking forward to that game, but a lot of the stuff that they showed off got my interest. So I think that they turned me around on that one. I forgot Platinum Games is going to support Stadia in 2021. That's cool. Grant Fuller doesn't get excited for anything anymore. That's sad. Gustav says, I'm really hoping Uplay Plus is coming this summer for Stadia. Even if it does, I don't see myself subscribing to it. I like some of the games that are available, but most of them are not games that I would be interested in. Like, although I didn't think I would really like The Division 2. I love that game. That game's really, really fun. But, like the other Tom Clancy games, I'm not interested in. I will tell you what game I'm very interested in, and it hasn't been announced for Stadia yet, but it's the roller thing, the roller derby game. Have you guys seen that? Let me find it real quick. Roller derby game, Ubisoft. There we go. Roller Champions. Roller Champions. Roller Champions looks fantastic. I hope that this, like right now, it's only on PC. But this game looks so fun. Is there a thing that'll show me some gameplay so I can show it to you guys? Here we go. This game looks so fun. I'm going to guess that this is going to be a free-to-play game, and you'll get cosmetics, very Fortnite-y cosmetics, because the art style is super Fortnite-y, which lends itself well to cosmetics. But it looks so fun. So you got to grab the ball, you got to skate around a certain number of times, and then you got to throw it in a hoop. I really hope this game comes to Stadia. This was announced at E3 last year. And you could play it for like the weekend or something. So and then they're going to score? No, they didn't score yet. Oh, here we go. Now they're going to score. Someday. There you go. I think that this game looks like an absolute blast. I played it for about 15 minutes because I just didn't have time. Res TV says that is being worked on by Ubisoft Winnipeg. Well, Lloyd, get over there and talk to them and get them to help us out. Eric, the only genre it's hard to get hyped about for me is MMOs. I've been let down so many times by the next WoW killer. Why does something have to be a WoW killer in order to succeed? That's the thing. Everybody always thinks that it has to be, it has to demolish WoW in order to succeed, and that's not necessarily the case. You know, an MMO could build a big audience that doesn't take away from World of Warcraft. Look at Final Fantasy XIV. Look at Elder Scrolls Online. Sure, some of the players came from World of Warcraft to play those games, but a lot of them didn't. A lot of them didn't. And I think that there's plenty of room out there for multiple MMOs. Now, is there room in your life or in in a person's life for multiple MMOs? Probably not. It's pretty insane to try and play 2 MMOs at the same time. When Star Wars The Old Republic came out, I was playing that and I was playing World of Warcraft. I was raiding in World of Warcraft and I was leveling up in Star Wars, and I had a lot of fun, but eventually I had to pick one because they're just too time consuming. But it doesn't have to be a WoW killer. And yeah, even Guild Wars 2 has a very solid player base. I played Guild Wars 2 for years. That was my main game that I streamed over on my Twitch channel. By the way, if you guys haven't already followed me on Twitch, it would be awesome if you did. All right. Twitch.tv/runjumpstomp and follow me over there. Yeah, right here. Here you go. Okay. Just head on over, although I do like the new homepage better. Head over to Twitch and then click on the little follow button right there. All right. It'd be awesome. Phantasy Star Online 2 is out now in the West. It's out now in America. You can't play it in Europe. I didn't know that. Sam Dullage says, loved the interview with Wavebreak guy last week. Any more surprise interviews coming up? Well, if we told you about them, then they wouldn't be surprises, would they? Thanks, Jem. I appreciate it. I suppose I could have done that, huh? Siriana Balak says, Bill, do you think we will see ESO soon? The expansion comes out next Tuesday. I don't think we will hear anything about Elder Scrolls Online and Stadia until summer. Dwayne Anderson says that art style is so popular. He's obviously referring to the roller derby game and the Fortnite art style. There's a reason it's so popular. Like that art style makes it so that your game runs on a lot of different hardware. It makes it easier to port to other systems because it's not super resource intensive. A lot of flat colors that still look good even at lower resolutions. Dwayne Anderson, I wanted to get into World of Warcraft, but it seems so overwhelming. I can understand that. What I would say is that it doesn't need to be overwhelming, especially when the Shadows of the Shadowlands, or whatever the hell it's called, I don't remember. The next expansion, when it comes out, they're completely revamping the leveling up experience, and it's going to be much easier for new players. I think that you'll like that. And Jem says, of course, the art style also looks great in the future. You know, you look at games like PUBG. When that game came out, everybody's like, wow, this looks amazing. And then I played it the other day, and I was like, this looks like trash. And it's not the developer's fault. Well, I mean, it is their fault because they chose an art style that doesn't hold up over time. Whereas other games pick an art style, and you go back and you play that game an extremely long time later, and it still looks beautiful because the art style wasn't realistic. As soon as you go for a realistic art style, it looks really cool in the moment. Fast forward a few years, it just doesn't look as good anymore. That's why you got to go stylized. Going for realism is a huge risk. I agree. Like right now, I'm playing The Division 2 a lot. Very realistic looking game. And I think it looks gorgeous. But in 10 years, I'm going to look at that game and I'm going to say, ooh, They made a bad choice there. They should have gone with a more stylistic approach. Until Unreal Engine 5 gives you all the triangles. Oh man, that Unreal Engine thing. Everybody was so like they were just like goodbye Microsoft, and they just didn't realize that Unreal Engine 5 is going to run on Microsoft, it's going to run on Stadia, it's going to run on Switch, it's going to run on phones, it's going to run on everything. Dwayne Anderson, I think the Borderlands games look amazing. Yeah, they hold up because they have that stylized art style. Call of Duty on Stadia would be a game changer. I think for some people, I wouldn't be bothered. I don't care. I don't think I've ever played, Sarah White's talking about Splash Damage. I don't think I've ever played a game by Splash Damage. I just see, what are their games? Splash Damage. So it looks like they've made Gears Tactics, Halo. Oh, it looks like they used to be an Xbox-focused studio. Gears 5. Wait. Where games? Here we go. Gears Tactics, Halo MCC, Gears 5, Dirty Bomb, Gears of War 4, Gears, Brink. Oh, I haven't heard very good things about Brink. Batman Arkham Origins. Isn't that the one that had a horrible PC port? I never played Rad Soldiers. Nothing here's jumping out at me. Let me look at Dirty Bomb. Show gameplay. I hate it when they don't show gameplay. Don't show me a damn cutscene. I'm not interested in your cutscenes. Eric, I want to see Crash Bandicoot on Stadia. I mean, it's possible. We have it on Switch, so it's possible that it'll come to Stadia. I never got into Crash Bandicoot. I don't think I played a single Crash Bandicoot game. Alright, Jem says, I love Crash so much. Alright, everybody, so here's what we're going to do. I am going to stream for another 10 minutes or so, and then after that, I'm going to kill the stream. That being said, if we're close to the end of the stream and Super Chat questions come in, then I will stay until the little thing that shows up at the top of chat goes away. Alright? Bernard Baker says, Bill, what have you noticed about the differences between your Nintendo audience and your Stadia audience? You know, I think that some people are gonna not like what I'm gonna say, but I think that the Nintendo audience tends to be more mature. They tend to pay attention to the rules, like in our Discord. Most of the problems that we've had on the Discord have been in the StadiaCast channel because people can't be bothered to read the rules, and I just look at that as an immaturity thing. Which is hilarious because, you know, everybody says, oh, Nintendo, that's kiddie stuff. But most of the people who play the Nintendo games are adults. I don't know. That's just how it is. Me and the mod team, there's a lot of activity in the Stadia Cast channel, and they're very active. They're very excited about stuff, but a lot of times, well, it hasn't been so much lately. We've kicked out a lot of the jerks. There were a lot of jerks that came in, and we booted them fast. So if you're not a jerk and you're looking for a place that is absent of jerks, then our Discord is a great place to join us. There is a link in the description down below. Join the Discord.
Read the rules.
And have awesome conversations with over 1,200 other people. We're gonna just speak English here. Just English. Just English. And yes, thank you, mods. I have an amazing mod team. You guys are fantastic. Eric says, we have it. I don't know what that means, dude. What is it? What is the it that we have? Sam, never understood Discord. Isn't it basically a massive chat room? It is, Sam, but here's the thing. Do you enjoy having the conversation that we're having right now? Because if you do, that conversation continues even when I'm not live. That's the thing about Discord, is it takes this community that we've got here in the YouTube chat, and it just takes that community and puts it into a place where I don't have to be live in order for us to have it. People to help with my network? Why, was I having network issues? Yeah, Discord is an app for phones. And it's also an app you can download on your computer. You can also do it through a website, but I would download it. It's better to download it. Just go to discord.gg if you haven't downloaded it yet. Just remember,
Read the damn rules.
why are you guys talking about IT? Geek Squad for your channel, they are your admins. Oh, I have one Geek Squad for my channel. That's Kodiak Moonwolf, and he is the mega mod on the Discord. Tony P. Henderson. Is that you, Tony P? That's gotta be. Discord has great voice chat. Just used it for some board gaming last night. What board game did you play, Tony? That is. By the way, everybody, I don't know why I waited this long to mention it, but we've got a new episode of 143 Pixels came out today. It was me and Eric from Viking Guitar, which sounds super rad. We talked about Mega Man 4. If you haven't subscribed to 143 Pixels, you are missing out on what I think is my best show. All right, so to subscribe to that, go to that link right there. Tony said, I played a game called Tang Garden. Cool. Yes, Discord has really good communications. I'm a fan of Discord. I used to use TeamSpeak back in my rating days, and Discord is so much better. Sam, why is it called 143 pixels? 2 reasons. One of them was by accident because I didn't really think about it. 3 reasons. So why is it called 143 pixels? Well, first of all, that's the number of pixels in one of the sprites in one of the original Mario game. So I blew up one of the sprites from the original Mario game, and I counted how many pixels were in it, and it had 143, and I thought that seemed like a cool... I thought that was a good name. And I said 143 pixels. That flows really well. I like the sound of it. And then the second thing, which was accidental, is 143 is the letters for I love you. 1 for I, love is 4, and then 3 is YOU. And so it's like saying that we love video games. So 143 pixels, that's why it's called 143 pixels. And every episode we talk about, I have a guest on and we talk about a game that they love. You miss Rock Band? I'm going to check out the podcast as well. In the Viking guitar episode of the podcast, there is a song that he plays from Mega Man in the podcast. It's really good. Owen, I'm not a fan of the Nintendo Switch app for voice chat. Aha. It works very well. I wish that we could just use Discord or not have to use an app at all. But the Nintendo Switch app works just fine. I've used it with Animal Crossing. I went to Paco's Island. We got on voice chat and we talked while we were playing. Why was I blowing up Mario and counting pixels? So the reason that I counted the pixels was because I wanted to have a good a good name for a podcast, and I thought a number and pixels would be a URL that you could easily get. So if you go to 143pixels.com, it takes you to runjumpstomp.com. So I figured nobody's gonna have like a number in pixels, right? So. And then I just figured I'm just going to grab Mario because he's like my favorite character. Well, maybe not my favorite character, but one of my favorite characters. And I just decided that that's a good way to come up with a name for a podcast. We don't all have the name like Tony P, where we can have Oddcast as the name of our show. It just all fell into place. All right, everybody. I think it's time for me to wrap up the show. Thank you for coming out for the open mic. I don't know if I'll do this again on Thursday. I felt like doing it today. So real quick, I want to thank... That's the wrong button. Real quick, I want to thank the people who sent in super chats or became members today. So Eric, Live Network, Shuri, Joel Thompson. Thank you guys all for the support. You guys are awesome, and I will see you all next time. Until then, stay rad. Oh my god, I almost forgot. Yes, Ember. Go to the Ember thing tomorrow. All right? Do the thing. Do the Ember thing.